Performing the cable lateral raise laying down is a great way to increase muscular contraction of the medial delt. When performing a regular standing dumbbell or even cable lateral raises in a standing position, it's very easy to increase momentum to bring the weight up as the reps get harder and harder. Often athletes will arch their torso as an attempt to move the weight. When we do this, we aren't using the original muscles intended to actually move the weight, and we're leaving gains on the table. Another reason the cable variation can often be more optimal is due to the overload the resistance places at the beginning portion of the movement. Those first 20 degrees of the movement is known as the lengthened mid-range, and cables overload the muscle during this portion of the movement better than dumbbells, and this actually increases intramuscular force, which is a very important component when we're trying to build muscle. And we do know this intuitively because when we use dumbbells, we can use a lot heavier weight, especially for those first 20 degrees of a lateral raise compared to cables. The cables are much more challenging in that range, whereas dumbbells are the lightest and easiest during that range. So the setup for this movement, we want to focus on bringing a flat bench where we have access to dual cables. You can have the cable pulleys all the way at the bottom, or you can place it just above your legs when you are in a sitting position on the bench. It doesn't matter. Play with both variations to simply see what's most comfortable for you. Once you bring the cables into an optimal position, grab each side of the cables with your opposite hand and lay backwards and completely flat on the bench. You can grab the cables using the handles, or you can even use cuffs if you prefer. Your arms should be crossed with a slight bend in your elbows and your hands right in front of your upper thighs. This is your starting position. To initiate the movement, perform a lateral raise with both cables as you normally would for any other type of lateral raise variation. When performing the lateral raise, you want to bend your elbows slightly and keep the angle in the same position throughout the entire range of motion. Raise your arms up and slightly out in front of you until your arms are in a complete straight line all the way across. Also, make sure that your wrists don't come higher than your shoulders. You don't want to be performing a shrugging motion at the top of the range of motion. Focus on keeping your forearms slightly out in front of you versus directly to your sides. This is going to allow you to target the side delt more effectively. Also want to focus on controlling the movement and bringing the weight back down in a slow and controlled manner back to the starting position. Focus on breathing out when you bring the cables up and out, and breathing in when you bring the cables back down to the starting position. And that's the lying cable lateral raise.